plan someplace that will be safe and easy to get to, easy to navigate. I mean, why would you choose a dangerous place for a vacation? So that is at least in part a description about how different we are as we approach places that we don't know. Because you go to vacations, you've never been there before. How do you know it's safe? So there's a difference in attitude about what a safe place is between my wife and I. So let me tell you as an example, actually a bunch of examples about a short trip between Luxembourg, which is a beautiful historic city couched between Germany and France and Belgium, and the city of Ghent in Belgium, a small quaint village. So we were in Bruges, which is again a beautiful walled city, and we decided, because we had taken the train everywhere we had gone in this vacation, because we were there basically to visit our daughter. Our daughter did a study abroad in 2007 in Belgium, in Antwerp. So we were there visiting her, and we visited Antwerp and Brussels and Bruges and a bunch of cities, as well as Amsterdam and, of course, Luxembourg. And on the way to Luxembourg, we decided the trains just weren't a direct action. We couldn't get there easily by train, so we decided to rent a car. We discovered a Hertz rental car agency 2 miles outside the walled city of Bruges, and we thought, this is perfect. So we take off, we exit the walled city, and we're walking through a deserted industrial area. I mean, deserted. And suddenly our definitions of safe suddenly are different. I think if I'm lost, I can't even find somebody to ask for directions. Sheila's thinking, if we die here, people will be days before they find our body. Turns out we grabbed hands and we walked safely to the rent-a-car place, got our rent-a-car, and took off towards Luxembourg. And we had a wonderful 2 days in Luxembourg. Then it was time to leave and go to Ghent. And I thought, I've got a few things still to do in Luxembourg. And Sheila's saying, to get to Ghent, we need to leave right after breakfast. And I'm thinking, I think there's castles we still need to see. There's a bunch of castles along the German-Luxembourg border. So I wanted to see them before we left, which meant there's no way we're going to get to Ghent after that. So we spent the morning visiting castles and had lunch in one of them. It was a really wonderful morning. And then we drove to Namur, which is a city about halfway between Ghent and Luxembourg. And when we got to Namur, we drove and drove and drove and didn't see a single hotel. We sort of like, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know where we're going. We don't know how to find a hotel in this city town. You know, we thought we traveled the main thoroughfares. Nothing. So we stopped. We just stopped arbitrarily in a place. And then I'm thinking, we got to figure this out. And Sheila's thinking, is this a safe neighborhood? Who's around us? Are they going to put us in the trunk of the car and kill us? I mean, so, and I'm thinking, you know, it's dark already and we're hungry, we haven't eaten. And as if by magic, an Italian restaurant appeared along the way. It's sort of like they put it there specifically because we're going to need it at this moment in time. And so we went to this Italian restaurant, and it was a small, multi-level one. Matter of fact, the eating places were on the second and third level, which, if you're in Europe, is the first and second level, because the first level is called the ground floor, and then the second level is called, anyway. So we went to the second level and third level where the seating was, and we sat down and we got this wonderful aroma, the textures and the odors that came in. It was just wonderful. We figured this is the right place. We made our order, and after we made our order, we asked the waiter if he could help us find a hotel. The English that this waiter had was limited to how to take an order. There was clearly no way he could help us. But luckily, the woman at the table next to us overheard us, and she said in her very heavy French accent, "Can I be of help?" And I really wasn't sure the accent, everything, but Sheila was sure. Sheila said, "Yes, yes, we need help finding a hotel." And she said, "Well, I can do that for you." So she called, she made a reservation in my name, and gave us directions on how to get this hotel. It's like the color had returned to Sheila's face. It was just really kind of her. And as we left, we thanked her. And I thanked her in as many ways, in as many languages. Danke, danku, gracias, merci, thank you. So that she understood how grateful we were. And as we took off towards the hotel, Sheila is wondering, is it going to be in a safe neighborhood? Is it going to be a trashy hotel? Is it going to be too expensive? And I'm just glad we have a place to go. As it turns out, the hotel is a chain that is in Brussels, and we had stayed in this hotel chain in Brussels, Belgium. And it was safe, it was kind, it was nice. And as we entered the hotel room, two things happened. One is Sheila looked at the bed and said, "Thank you." And I looked at the bathroom and said, "Thank you." But there were two reasons. The obvious one, of course, but the other one is this bathroom was a fiberglass circular unit inside the room. It wasn't built into the room with walls. We never understood, and we still, is a mystery, how did they get this circular fiberglass bathroom inside this room? Still don't have a message. Still don't have an answer to that. So we settled in. The next morning we took the car and went the rest of the way to Ghent. And when we got to Ghent, we returned the rent-a-car and made a pact. We will take trains from now on the rest of this trip. This was a pact that I agreed to, but mostly it was to keep a sane wife for the rest of this trip. And I realized as we visited Ghent and looked around, because Ghent was a great small town with famous tower that people climb just to say they've been there, we realized there's two lessons I learned. One lesson is the kindness of strangers. I wish we could expect that more often, but that was such an important piece of this conversation, of this trip. And the second is, we experience safe in a very different way. And I realized that we need to sort of navigate that better together, but what I can do is be more aware of what others consider safe when I clearly am always the optimist, figuring it's all going to be fine. It'll work out. Nothing to worry about. Sheila worries for both of us. So I need to be aware that this is something I just need to know more about and understand better as we travel. Thank you.